Hi there. My name is Kannan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Avvanz. With me, I have Siang and Karthik from Avvanz, as well as Apurva and Mandeep from Mastercard, who is our partner. Before we talk about the partnership, just wanted to quickly introduce Avvanz as well. So we are a multi-award winning HR tech fintech company. We have two broad pillars, screening and consulting. And under screening, we have background checks and company due diligence. And due diligence is where we're going to talk about our partnership, which we recently announced with Mastercard. A quick overview of Avance. Today, we serve about 4,000 plus clients around the globe through our six global offices, including in Singapore, Philippines, India, Australia, US, and UK. And we help companies and mitigate people-related risk through individual level background checks, as well as to really understand who they are working with in terms of companies as well. We have several HRMS ATS platform integrations. We are also in the Ministry of Manpower panel, as well as MAS panel and the ECDA panel. And all the quality and compliances are obviously managed and documented through our ISO 27001 and ISO 27701 certifications. What has set us apart is really our technology. We have leveraged identity verification technology to really ensure we know who's the person logging in and getting the verifications done. We have partnerships with FNED, Temasek for verifiable certificates, and also we have leveraged blockchain as well. And the problem we're really trying to solve here is, do we really know this person we are hiring is the right fit? Is this person safe to hire? And once we hire, how do we onboard and train the person to be highly productive? That's where I talked about our two broad pillars, screen and develop. In terms of products under screen, we have three broad products. Under Screen Global, this is a Amazon-styled e-commerce platform which enables you to conduct 20 plus different types of checks across 150 plus countries, which means your individual could pretty much be from any part of the world and we can background check the person. And for Screen Chain is a blockchain, leveraging blockchain, whereby previously screen candidates could have the results in seconds. And today, the hero of the presentation today is a CDD Global, which is company due diligence. Again, this is a first ever e-commerce style platform where you can easily order different types of due diligence checks on companies. And this is where I really like to announce, or rather, re-mention the partnership we have got with Mastercard in a CyberRisk product. And I would like them to share about this product as well.
Right, thank you, and hello, everyone. My name is Mandeep Sedha, or Mandy for short, and I'm a director of cyber products at Mastercard based in Singapore. Thank you, Kannan and the Avvanz team for having me and my colleague Apurva for this session. Avvanz, as mentioned by Kannan as well, we have recently gone into a partnership with Mastercard in bringing our solution, MyCyberRisk, which is a cybersecurity risk assessment solution, to a wider range of businesses through this very easy, accessible platform. Now, cybersecurity is a very crucial topic for organizations, and not many know how to even manage it or how to deal with it. So integrating our solution with the company due diligence module at Avvanz platform, it makes it very easy for businesses to run an assessment and understand what the cyber posture is for their organization. But why should companies or organizations be concerned with cybersecurity in the first place? Now, cyber threats are evolving very rapidly, and they're becoming more sophisticated and more frequent as the time goes on. Just a fun fact for everyone out there. If you talk about cybercrime businesses, and how is it related to the largest economies around the world? Now, if you look at the world's largest economy today, it's the US, right? No doubt about it. And the second largest economy, of course, in Asia is China. If you look at the third largest economy, it is actually comparable to the cybercrime business, which is sitting at $10 billion. And this is larger than the Germany or even Japan's economy. That's how large the business opportunity is. Kannan, we're probably sitting on the wrong side. We should join the attackers. But you see, there is a growing requirement around businesses moving into the digital services as well. And because of this expansion into digital services, that's what the cyber attackers are feeding on. And that's why we see the increase in cybercrime. There are many different types of attacks out there. And the most common one that you would hear is about ransomware, which unfortunately can disrupt any type of business. It doesn't matter if it's a small business or if it's a large business. And this is a ransomware. I mean, just to simplify, it is an attack. It's a type of an attack where the attacker gets access to your IT systems and it deploys malware that encrypts your file. So basically now as organizations, you cannot access your systems. You cannot do any work on those systems. And largely the attackers threaten you to position all of these data into the web if you don't pay ransom. These risks are real, and the hard part of it all is that the cost of the cyber incident, it is continued to rise. And it does not just impact the financial standing of a company, but also your operational, your reputational, and the customer trust. So there is a lot riding on the cyber attacks. Now, if we take a moment to think about the larger organizations, especially those are regulated, right, like financial institutions. These organizations, they have enough financial resources to invest in managing cybersecurity. So you see that there are a lot of good controls that these financial institutions or the larger regulated institutions that they put in place so that they can protect themselves. And what is happening now is that the cyber attackers realize this, and they realize that the cost of impact or a cost of doing a cyber attack on a larger organization will increase. They're actually now targeting the SMEs. So SMEs are also holding a lot of good amount of sensitive information, right? Like your personal information, like your name, your national IDs, your address, your phone numbers. And largely we are seeing that the SME organizations, they don't have enough resources or enough knowledge on what kind of controls they should deploy in order to protect themselves as cyber attacks. So it makes it an easier target for the attackers to come and hit an organization like an SME to get access to a similar type of sensitive information that the larger organizations would be hosting to, which makes it very important for SMEs to protect themselves. The slide that you see on the screen, it shows examples of data breaches and the fines that the SMEs have been subjected to in the past. The first example shows a law firm that had a data breach which processed information relating to National Disability Insurance Scheme in Australia. The second example on the right shows a Singapore reservation platform that was fined $3 million just because the customer information was lost due to a data breach. The third example on the bottom left shows a payment platform PayID that exposed information of more than 100,000 Australian residents, again, because of a data breach. The fourth example shows a ransomware attack that launched a series of ransomware attacks on SMEs across the globe. The reality is this is happening. Can we move to the next slide, please?
So I guess just like our solutions are industry agnostic, I think cyber attacks are not only industry agnostic, it's geography agnostic as well as company size agnostic. So everyone is
Everyone is attacked.
subjected to yeah, it's pretty scary for any organization, right?
Absolutely. So like I mentioned, in today's digital age, as we continue to get connected, we will see the cyber attack and the threat increasing. Unfortunately, for SMEs, this just means that there is a larger cost that they have to bear, and close to $500,000 in some cases. The additional challenge also becomes that SMEs have limited dedicated IT resources, as you see on the screen, which also means that there is not enough understanding of the cyber exposure of the business. And if you do not understand how the cyber attacker can kind of come and connect to your infrastructure and cause damage, it could be very risky for you to operate in that kind of environment. So a quick way to understand the cyber exposure is by doing a cyber risk assessment, which is what we're talking about today. And depending on the size of your organization, the type of data that you are storing in your infrastructure, you can choose to do a detailed analysis or a quick and dirty check to understand where your initial vulnerabilities are. Now, the quick way for you to assess your cyber vulnerabilities is to understand your internet-facing systems and do a risk assessment on that. Why do you think this is important? Well, if you imagine a house, for example, and you have stored your very precious jewels in a safe inside that house, but the house from the outside, it has broken windows, perhaps a door which does not get locked, or perhaps there are no security cameras in the vicinity. Can you imagine a thief who's trying to get into your house? It's a very quick, easy access to get into the house. So no matter how secure your safe is, the thief has limited barriers to enter your house. Similarly, even for your IT infrastructure, there are vulnerabilities, there are places of compromise on your internet-facing systems, which the attacker can see, and they can enter your systems, which is why it's it's a very good way to just do a quick scan and do a quick risk assessment of your internet-facing systems, just to see what are those vulnerable data points. Now, my colleague Apurva will explain to you more and how the risk assessment would work. Over to you.
I like the jewel example because my wife is Indian like yourself, and I'm sure jewel is the first thing you would bring up.
Yes.
So to talk about some other more valuable
Exactly.
documents, the true Indian lady.
Absolutely.
Hi, everyone. I'm Apurva, and thanks, Mandy. So now we're going to spend some time on understanding what is the product, what does it do, what are the benefits, and how an organization can use such an assessment tool. MyCyberRisk provides continuous monitoring of the external environment of an organization. This assessment includes a dashboard that provides a quick snapshot of your cyber risk exposure. Now, what does this dashboard have? It has a cyber risk rating, which is rated from an A to an F rating. A rating would mean great cyber hygiene, whereas an F rating would mean poor cyber hygiene for that organization. The dashboard would also include a trend analysis of the cyber ratings over a period of time so that organizations can understand how their ratings have increased or decreased over a period of time. They would have visibility of what are the IT assets sitting for their organizations which are facing the internet. What are the hosts, the different domains that are facing the internet, which could cause these issues. They also get a visibility of a detailed security profile of their organization, which is spread across 9 different security domains. And we're going to talk about it in a minute in more detail. There would be an issue priority matrix that you see on the slide in the center, which highlights the list of all the vulnerabilities which are critical for an organization to resolve. And this also is based on the severity of the issues and the criticality of the assets on which these issues reside. The customers will be able to download 2 different reports, one covering all the issues and one covering high-level remediation actions to resolve these critical issues. Now let's spend some time on how this assessment is done. Cyber risk rating of an organization is determined by evaluating the IT footprint of an organization facing the internet. This calculation is based on 40 different criteria across 9 security domains. To name a few, that would include your email security, your web security, software patching, any breach events that an organization could have faced in the recent past. And using all of that information, the security profile of that organization is created. Now, once the system has identified the security profile, it would be able to assess what are the critical issues for an organization. Now, how does that do that? It looks at the criticality of the issue. At the same time, it also looks at the criticality of the asset on which this issue resides on. And using these 2 parameters, it's able to understand what are the critical issues overall to be resolved for an organization. And together, all of this information then comes into a rating, which was A to F rating, which is easy for organizations to understand what is their cyber risk exposure like. I'm going to spend some time on explaining different use cases for such a cyber risk assessment from different perspectives. From the perspective of a business user who is responsible and accountable for all risks of their organization, often small businesses would not have dedicated IT security team and they would have limited resources who are focused on growing their business and do not have enough time to spend on IT security issues. So a tool like MyCyberRisk would provide them quick and automated cyber risk assessment view within a matter of few hours as soon as they sign up. With that, they will be confident in protecting the confidential data of their customers and the proprietary information of their own organization. And most of all, they will know how to stay compliant to ever-changing cyber industry regulations and practices in our current times. This increases customer trust And subsequently, it reduces the cyber risk, their financial risk, and reputational risk over time. The next use case we're going to look at is from an organization for which the IT security team is fairly small. They have maybe 2 or 3 employees in IT security team, and is already overburdened with their existing tasks. They don't have the time to look at the increasing scrutiny of the local regulators around IT security. They don't have the time to apply those controls or even assess for that matter. So a tool like MyCyberRisk can provide them quick visibility of the areas of key concern for cyber risk exposure, which allows them to prioritize high-risk issues and also provides them guidance on how to fix these issues. Coming back to my previous point, it most importantly provides them how to stay compliant to continuously changing cyber regulations and practices. My last use case is for an organization when there is an acquisition in the picture. So let's look at a situation where company A is about to acquire company B and integrate the cloud-based technology into their existing services. Now, as part of the due diligence of this acquisition process, company A would need to understand the cyber risks associated with the acquisition. And in a scenario like this, MyCyberRisk could come in very handy even before the acquisition. Right? Now, a quick snapshot of cyber risk exposure of company B with the details of critical risks would tell them what kind of risk they are getting into. It will enable them to make quick decision-making with full visibility of these cyber risks. There would be no manual processes involved or even approval required to be taken from company B. And based on these assessment results, company A can then assess what they need to do to stay compliant with the cyber regulations upon acquisition. Now, we looked at various use cases for a product like MyCyberRisk. What does a company get out of all of these benefits? Right? It's a simple solution to guide an organization of any size to prioritize their resources to address cyber risks. It allows them to differentiate their online business to strengthen their brand preference, their loyalty, and even consumer relationships. It also allows them to enhance their existing cybersecurity processes and controls through increased awareness and education of ongoing cyber threats and security best practices. With that, I'm going to hand over to Siang, who's going to tell you how you could procure MyCyberRisk from Avvanz platform. Over to you, Siang.
Hi, thanks Apurva, thanks Mandy for that quick run through. Again, it's always so beneficial to hear the benefits of MyCyberRisk. So much, every time I hear it, I manage to pick up something new. So I have the easiest task now at hand to run through with you quickly how you can order MyCyberRisk on our advanced CDD Global portal. So CDD Global actually stands for Company Due Diligence Portal. Right, it is a portal designed to handle due diligence requirements from a company perspective. Right, I'll quickly log in now. And again, the way we've designed our portal is that it's very much like an e-commerce portal. So if you've been shopping, and everyone has e-commerce shopping, it's so easy to navigate. You log in, you'll be brought to a menu page like this one here with several options. All you need to do is dive into the particular one that you want to get into, select it. It goes into a bit of, well, you can call it a cutout scenario, make payment, and finally wait, well, in our sense, wait for the final delivery of the product, a report, or even access to MyCyberRisk portal as provided by MasterCard. But a quick overview of the portal before we get into showing you how to order MyCyberRisk. In addition to MyCyberRisk, we do provide other options, right? Basically, from a due diligence perspective, we have a basic option, a standard option, and an enhanced option. In addition to an ability to run a quick and easy global watch list and sanctions check for organizations, right? If you'd like to know more, we'll be more than happy to share it with you. So getting back to the task at hand, MyCyberRisk, all you need to do, click off on Add to Cart. You'll be brought to a pop-up page, which gives you a very nice description of what you'll be getting, the scope, right? in addition to how much time it'll take for us to run this particular check, which is 5 business days, and the cost here, right? So quick and simple. Again, this is a worldwide check, so there isn't an option for a selection of other countries. It's a global check. And next, you just need to fill in the company name, the organization that you'll be checking on. So as simple as that. Click on, maybe I can show you here, add item, and then you'll be brought back to the menu page again. And here you have the option of selecting additional checks if you choose to do so. If not, you're ready, simply proceed to checkout. Once you click on that, you'll be brought to the order summary where you have details of the check, the corresponding costs, and as with any e-commerce platform, you have the ability to make payment with a regular credit card, Visa, MasterCard, or even American Express. And last but not least, if you are a corporate client of us, you have the ability to set up offline terms as well, right? So once you're happy, just click on submit, and then simply wait for a code that will come across to you on the email that have been provided, which will again give you access to Mastercard's MyCyberRisk dashboarding, right? Okay, that as simple as that. That kind of concludes my simple demo on how to place an order with us.
Thanks for that, Siang. Actually, the reason why, as you can see from the product, we have other than our individual level background checks through Screen Global, we are extremely focused now on helping companies doing DD on other organizations as well. So as Siang showed, we have the basic to the advanced level in global watch list and sanction, which cover a lot of the financial risks. It covers a lot of the compliance, things like anti-money laundering, ultimate beneficial ownership, all these things. But what was missing is really the cyber threat, and as what Mastercard has shown us, it's a humongous risk which we cannot ignore, which is why we wanted this partnership with Mastercard to be able to distribute that to our clients as well. And as you saw, the price only showed like 60 US, but the amount of information which is coming through is just humongous, right? Maybe a question could be also at this point, I'm sure some companies would have this question. So if I'm already doing a VAPT and all that, which is vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, how does this complement or how does this work with that, right? So maybe Mandy or Apurva can also throw some light on that, because there's usually a common.
It is, Kannan, you rightly stated this. So vulnerability assessment and penetration testing has a very different scope. And organizations, when they want to do this thorough assessment, they want to do it on the systems which are on internet facing as well as internal systems as well. So the scope of the assessment is very different. But and then the frequency of the vulnerability assessment also, you don't do this on a continuous basis. Perhaps some people do it once a year, perhaps some people do it once a quarter. It's not a continuous risk monitoring. But what I was alluding to earlier is that you really need to know, especially for your internet-facing systems, where these vulnerabilities are, because the attacker can compromise anytime. They are not going to wait for you to do the vulnerability test and then identify, and then you fix the controls. It has to be some form of continuous monitoring, especially for your outside layer, so that you know your doors are locked, your windows are secure, and your security cameras are working, right? So you need that external lens before you actually even decide to do that full vulnerability scans and the penetration testing. So it complements, it doesn't replace anything, but it's a complementary exercise that organizations should do. And Kannan, as you mentioned, the cost of this product,
the cost,
because the benefits that the organizations will get it's a lot. So I would highly recommend everyone to take it up.
Yeah, and VAPT is not cheap, right? It costs a few $1,000s. Whether it's even an SME, a large organization, you're not going to spend thousands of dollars every month to do VAPT.
Correct.
Definitely, that's something I'll call this. That is probably like your annual health check, and this one is probably your daily assessment. Make sure are you taking enough vitamins? Are you eating enough? So I think it's really a daily assessment, right? And with the kind of cost, I think it's really a no-brainer for any company, any size company, even a little muffin block shop can do these checks, right? So yes, in fact, I also want to share with us why did you actually select Avvanz to be a partner for this product through your global channels?
Absolutely, Kannan. So Kannan and Avvanz in general, I think the way that you're bringing cybersecurity to your customers, it's a brilliant idea. through e-commerce platform, it's so much more easier for customers to download and get access to a cyber risk security score, as opposed to going through consultants, which are very expensive, as you mentioned. A lot of times, people don't know where to start, and making it accessible through like a great e-commerce platform, it just makes it easier for customers to get access to cybersecurity. So a great thinking.
Yeah, this is why CDD Global was set up, right? When me and
Yes.
Siang, we really put on the whiteboarding at the stage. We wanted to make sure it's easy for people to walk in and place an order.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's always a discussion of sitting down, getting to a call, with a calendar discussion, and then ask all the questions. And it's a very long process before you could place the first order. Here,
Yeah.
walk in, descriptions are there. It tells you exactly what is being covered. Sample reports are there, and then you just check out and go.
Yeah. And one thing rightly you pointed out, Kannan, earlier, when you think about company due diligence, people do the background checks, they do the company checks, they do sanction screening. Cyber is not one of those first things that come to mind, but it needs to be, because that's what kind of can break down. Your business operations won't work if the cyber attack happens. So it's an extremely essential due diligence that needs to be done.
So I think it's definitely a triple win situation. It's a win for us because we get a partner, MasterCard for you, obviously get it distributed through us, and it's a major, major win for all our clients out there.
Absolutely.
So great, fantastic. We are very excited for this partnership and how we can actually really help the companies out there in a very, very cost-effective way as well. Yeah, that's good. Anyone has anything to conclude? If not, all good.
No,
We'll
all
end
good.
end this short webinar. Thanks everyone. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.